Hello everybody, you're tuned to Radio Card Game. I know it's been a while since my last video and I would like to apologize for that, but as I said in a Word Charlie Slow to 70k video, I've been in vacation and once back I've been sick for an entire week. Speaking of which, I hope you hear my voice clearly. Well, all of this can sound as an excuse, but it's the truth, and at the same time I have to admit that I didn't really know what to do as a new small channel that can actually diversify from all the other. For now, alongside my Archetype videos, I came up with another kind that will start with the next video, and I ask you in advance for some feedback as soon as I upload that. But without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Palladion is a new link-based archetype that just came out in the OCG with Cybernetic Horizon, July 27 for the TCG release. Supposed to be part of the Board Legacy Dual Terminal, has a pretty good ceiling going first, doing a decent control with a couple of cards, but where it really shines is going second, since it has easy ways to OTK your opponent. All the monsters have an hard once per turn condition of inherent special summoning themselves in defense position to a zone a link monsters point to. Keep in mind that this counts also your opponents, and an on-field second effect at once per turn too. The first monster I want to talk about is Palladion of the Fiendish Illusion. Level 3 spellcaster type that on normal or special summon can target and destroy a Palladion card on your side of the field and one card on your opponent's. Being a dim scrap dragon is one of the main sources of disruption also during your opponent's turn. Keep in mind that can target itself and most importantly still destroys even if it loses one of the two targets. And this is important for some interaction that I will show you later on. Second comes Palladion of the Sacred Tree. Probably the most versatile monster of the archetype thanks to its characteristics. Level 3 warrior type monster is also a tuner and on top of that can banish itself from the field of graveyard to prevent the battle or effect destruction of one or more Palladion monsters on your field, on your side of the field. Other than being searchable by reinforcement of the army, being a tuner can provide needle fiber shenanigans within the deck to further extend the field presence, but it's debatable how much is this worthy for the deck mechanic. The last level 3 monster is Palladion of the 100 Beasts. As its name says, is a beast type with 1200 attack that can allow one of your Palladion link monster to inflict piercing damage. And this is quite relevant, if you ask me, for the OTK potential that we will discover later on talking about the link monsters. As an Earth beast type, it can be summoned by Rescue Cat alongside another tuner to make Natura Beast, and add some spell negation, and adding some spell negation is always good for a first turn board. Next we have Palladion of the Power Creep Imduk, Palladion of the Celestial Bodies. It's a level 4 dragon type monster that can salvage a Palladion card, not just monster, from your graveyard to your hand upon normal or special summon. Being a dragon, it opens up the possibility of playing Red Dice Darkness Metal Dragon, bringing it out with Summon Sorceress, Summon of Needle Fiber and Mecha Phantom Beast Lion, and from there going with Firewall Dragon for some recovery shenanigans that then allows you to actually summon Red MD for some pluses. Even though some of you don't like splashing this kind of combo everywhere, it's a reality and an option. It's up to you making the decision whether playing this way or not. The last monster is probably the most iconic of this entire dual terminal, or maybe what's left of him. Palladion of the Vast Sky, level 4 psychic type monster, is an important piece of the killing machine that this archetype is, thanks to its 1600 attack, and gives a Palladion link monster you control the ability to inflict double damage when battling an opponent monster, at the cost of depriving of their attack all the other monster on your side of the field. This is probably the main monster you wanna end up with if you're planning to end the game. And that's it for the main monsters. Let's jump now into the next section. There are 3 link monsters with 2 effects in common. They gain attack equal to the original attack of monsters they point to, and monsters they point to cannot attack. The first one, also you want to go into, is Palladion Magias. As a link 1 requires only one Palladion monster except itself and points downwards. As an add once per turn effect, you can add one Palladion monster from your deck to your hand if an effect monster is summoned to the zone it points to. Pretty straightforward and important card, as it is the starter for every in-theme combo. The other one is Palladion Regulex, a pointing up and down link 2 that requires two effect monsters including at least one Palladion. This time, very similar to Magias, if an effect monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, keep in mind that counts also your opponent's monsters, you can add one Palladion spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Quite simple effect, but still important to ensure your 80k combos go off. The last one is the boss monster of the archetype as it is right now, and it's the one you wanna end up with, whatever you're going first or second. Palladion Archlord is a link 3 pointing up, bottom left and bottom right, just like the Eco Talker, and requires two or more effect monsters, including at least one link monster. Its effect is quick and states as follows. You can tribute one Palladion or World Legacy monster, and this is the spicy part I love so much. This card points to and target one face-up card your opponents control. Its effects are negated until the end of this turn. Like Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, this card can negate the effects of activated normal spell cards, like Pot of Desires or Raigeki for examples. But what do spell and trap cards do? We've got two spell cards, a field spell, it couldn't be otherwise, and a quick play. Reunite Palladion boosts all your Palladion monsters by 500 attack and defense, instead of just 300 like the majority of all the other field spells. On top of that, it allows one of your Palladion link monsters to attack all your opponent's monsters, but all the monsters you control cannot attack. But this is not a problem since the link monster you will choose, which should be Archlord, will have a really high attack and probably the ability to inflict double damage to your opponents thanks to Vaskai, of course. Since it's searchable and recoverable from celestial bodies, I will play this card as one-off, also because it's just useful for an OTKing, so you don't have to keep this card on board after you use it. You shouldn't, at least. The quick play spell is called Obeyed Palladion and makes one of your Palladion monsters immune to card effect, except its own, until the end of the turn. Just to be clear, keep in mind that even though it will lose the stat boosts from the field spell, it will still have all the other abilities given by the second effect of the field spell itself, or by 100 Beast and Vaskai that respectively gives piercing and double battle damage, as long as you activated these effects before Obeyed Palladion, of course. On top of that, if your opponent used Ghost Ogre, Ash Blossom, or any other kind of entrap on the effect of Magias, Regulex, or Celestia's body, you can chain Obeyed, targeting the monster the hand trap would affect, in order to prevent the disruption. So this card kinda acts as a quote-unquote second Called by the Grave while you're doing Palladion stuff during your turn. A free off for sure. The only trap card we have so far is a continuous trap called Crusadia Palladion, and upon activation you can tribute one Palladion or World Legacy monster to special summon one Palladion or World Legacy monster with a different name from your deck or graveyard. Also, your opponent can target only link monsters you control for an attack, so this is quite a good protection for your little Palladion monsters that give the attack boost to your link. An interesting interaction of this card is with Archlord. Activating Crusade, you special summon Fiendish Illusion and activate its effect, targeting itself and another card your opponent controls. Then you activate Archlord effect as a chain link 2, and tributing Fiendish Illusion itself, you negate the effect of a face-up card your opponents control. The resolution of the chain will first negate the targeted card, and then destroy the other one, by the effect of Fiendish Illusion, since, as I told you before, it still resolves even if it loses one of its target. A free off for sure too. At this point, I bet that this trap card doesn't look that bad as you were thinking at first. And this also counts for Obeyed, but believe me, as an Inferno player, I know how good is a searchable quick play spell card that makes your monsters immune. I also want to say that since this trap and Archlord includes World Legacies, monster in their effect, The new World Legacy World Crown acquires a lot of potential, and in my opinion, an ensured spot, at least one, in this deck. Other than being able to special summon itself like all the other Palladion monsters, it gives a 2000 boost to your links, and on top of that, it has a really good effect, if you ask me. By Triptych itself can negate the activation of the effect of a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Another World Legacy monster I'm messing around with right now is World Armor. Other than having 2500 attack, it adds a World Legacy card from your deck to your hand when it's special summoned. Since you can special summon it by your trap card, Crusadia Palladion, it can find a spot as a one-of. To fully take advantage from its effect, instead of running only World Crown, I think that running from 2 to 3 copies of the spell card World Legacy Inheritor that will come out in Flame of Destruction is standalone already a good decision. World Armor or not, because it gives you the chance to extend your combo, recover, but most importantly, bust further your Palladion Archlord you should end with. Overall, this archetype kinda reminds me of a Link version of Burning Abyss, because with any two monsters, you do your standard combo, going first and second. Also, it's not important which one you drew, you will always end up with the same board. The problem here is that the number of different Palladion names is of course smaller than the number of BA monsters. And this is why not only I will play of course 3 copies of all the Palladions, but also 2 or 3 World Crown to maximize the possibility of opening with a combo or even recovering from an eventual disruption. Keep in mind that it's really important to do what the archetype needs to do, because unlike other decks, this is pretty linear if you ask me. In fact, some player may add some typical combo pieces for Needle Fiber like Lion Crystal Grosnix, Blackwing Steam the Cloak, and Trimer Ibly, and so on. Some players may even play Glow Up Bulb as a starter, but I personally don't like it because it doesn't really fit in the mechanic of the deck, since it takes the only normal summon the deck has. A gimmicky idea I came up with is to use Mare Mare if you're also playing Ibly. Summoning Air to your opponent's side of the field will grant you the ability to synchro summon into Yazi with Sacred Tree and another level 4 monster. It will then destroy itself and Ibly to bring out Mare Mare and do some link combos. You can even use Destrudo summoned out by Summon Sorceress by targeting your Celestial Bodies, and then use the Engrave Destrudo's effect to special summon itself and synchron into Yazi. All these ideas are pretty spicy, but which one is really worthy is debatable. After testing the deck, I understood that all these combos are almost useless in Palladion, unlike for the majority of the other decks, because as I said, it really needs to be more consistent and stable as possible in order to bring out its best combination of cards that already bring the deck into a winning position. But let's wrap up for this video. I don't want to talk too much and spoil the combo tutorial. I'm Radio Card Game, and if you like this video, leave a like, press that bloody subscribe button, and tell me what you think about the Palladion archetype and which one you would like to see reviewed in my next archetype analysis. That's it for today, guys, and I'm out.